She said it. So there is some StarCraft, but it was just sort of like, yo, should we put some StarCraft on? Because I don't think there's very much on the side. He was like, sure, let's do it. And here we are for the SC2 Online Open. So do go use those coupon codes, guys. We should be able to get up to, I believe, about... Oh, we actually had a donation by Lib75 as well on the... Sorry, it's all a little bit awkward because I wasn't on the proper place, but on the proper page. But Lib75 actually donated $10 to the prize pool. Thank you very much, Lib. Get some love in the chat for Lib. He's cheering. He's adding to the prize pool of the tournament. So, guys, that still means there's actually plenty of coupon codes left for you guys to use. I think there is... Actually, I think there's about 3 left over. So go use them. CO23 on the Match Arena page. It takes you 2 seconds to get there. And you can sort that out very quickly, and it just benefits the players, of course. Let's do this then. TvP best of 3 to the top left-hand side from Team Liquid. Our blue Terran player is uThermal. And we have down to the bottom right is going to be our teal Protoss. It is going to be Socke. Yeah, what's up, Stonecotton, dude? you haven't seen the new logo yet. You mustn't have been here for a little while. So what's up? Welcome back. And yeah, we are completely rebranded. We are WardiTV now. We have a lot of exciting stuff going on in the future, which people have already sort of linked you to. So Kurak linked it to you. So go check that out and yeah, just go check it out. Definitely worthwhile, I would say. Yeah, it's really been like a crazy week or two, I guess. WardiTV launched. We got Twitch Prime hype. It's just been a good 2 or 3 months, you know. We've had so many cool things this last couple of months. Like the viewership's been so great. The sub count's been on its own, been on the way up on its own, and now we're like, now we're just continuing to excel thanks to Twitch Prime. It's just crazy, really, to be honest. So. Really crazy. Looks like there's like 1 coupon code or so left over, guys, in the match arena, so go get that used up. Nice to see we've raised $125 for the prize pool today from the initial 75. That's actually really awesome. That's actually really awesome. Where is the sound? If you don't have sound, refresh, although you probably can't hear me, so it doesn't really help me help much by me saying that. So yeah, rip the dream. Anyways, early on this TvP uThermal Open, fairly standard with the Reaper expansion. Socke with a fairly standard expansion of his own, going into the Robo facility and probably a Twilight in the very near future as well. I was just going to be seeing the Reaper just pick up a probe kill. So probe kill, and Reaper will just hop on up in towards the main base. Ooh, goes down. The Adept getting a shot off there. That's something I didn't really expect. So Reaper goes down, doesn't pick up much information at all there for uThermal. Doesn't really know exactly what this is, so we'll have to play somewhat safe in such a way where, you know, he's more or less just going to have to say, well, I'm just going to have to assume maybe you have a Stargate. Assume you have that. Assume you might go DTs, because I just don't know what to and what not to expect at this point. Unless he drops a scan, which is a possibility. Obviously then he will be dropping a scan in response to having not scoured, and that will be his way to prepare for all of the possibilities, so... I was going to be seeing a few Marines just join up towards the top of the ramp as uThermal. Well, his build order is actually this 2-1-1 build. If you are not familiar with this from the TVZ matchup, then you probably don't watch much StarCraft 2 at the moment or in recent times. So we're going to have that fast impact, a couple of medevacs early, and that'll allow him to come across the map very quickly. And that will be a good way for him to apply pressure and just sort of get some damage done from the early stages. A couple of medevacs on the way out for uThermal, and that's what we expect. So Drop going to come in just around that 5-minute marker and see where he's see what he's going to be able to get up to with that. We've seen this militia core just patrolling back and forth. Going to see an assimilator here on the natural expansion as well. Just going to be finishing up. So a few probes just going in there and just mining away from it. We're going to see a stalker added on as well now from Socke, and yeah, just a pylon coming up just behind the mineral line. A couple more stalkers from him as well, and yeah, just getting set up, getting ready to go. So refinery comes up on the natural expansion as we do see those 2 medevacs going to start moving out across to the bottom side of the map. So one of the main goals here from uThermal is probably to try and delay and deny that 3rd base from going up. You can see right now it's just about starting, so he should be able to unload and perhaps stim in and deny that pretty swiftly. There's a probe there to kind of build a pylon or 2 in location. A few units getting in position to defend it as well, but it's a lot of Marines that come in very early on at this position, and I like what he's doing as well. He's positioning right now away from that initial pylon. Stim not actually ready just yet, as the storm count's pretty high. You will actually have to lift up and back away without Stim straight away. Has to just back away until that's ready. As his follow-up here, well, he's gone into a siege tank and maybe even a second tank, and he will just kind of go for an aggressive follow-up where he's just going to attack with, again, only 2 medivacs, but those medivacs will have tanks inside them this time around. And so when they come across the map with a bunch of bio as well, you should create a pretty scary situation, more or less, I suppose. You'll see these Marines are going to be unloading then, and you're just going to be seeing a few Marines stimming off to the side, trying to catch an observer. He obviously knows that's there, and it's the worst feeling when you just know... He'll drop that scan knowing that he probably shouldn't have done it, but how could he resist when the observer was so close? It's always one of the worst things to kind of check out, I guess. It's one of the worst things to feel as a turn player. It's like, oh, you know, when you just know you scrub the scan. It's the same for Banshee. When you scan a Banshee and it just gets away. That's maybe not as painful as that, because then it's, you know, Banshee is a little bit harder or a little bit more easy to have that happen to, but yeah, I'm going to see some Stalkers just going to join up to the bottom side. And we've seen the Marines and the Marauder, and a couple of Tankovacs again still moving through the center of the map. So, moving through the center here, going to see what's up. A few more Stalkers warping on in. Getting set up and ready to go, and well, tanks will unload. Bio's just going to fight this in the center. The Stalkers, a few of them going down before they can even blink back. The tank's starting to be out of range now, however, the Stalkers have run out of blinks. However, the Warp Prism is there to try and help out as well, and well, overall, it's going to be a fairly even trade. Both players are going to trade out the armies. Warp Prism is going to get targeted down, though. Stalker was still inside of it. He'll pull away now to the siege tanks, which will, when the Stalkers are low on health like this, add quite a lot of damage on. You can see here that the Stalkers are all going to go down. And that was a bit of an overcommitment there from Socke in the end. 6 or 7 more Stalkers dying where he didn't really need them to die. He probably could have saved them. Overcharge going down as well, and he will just fight this uThermal to keep control on the third base location. Stalkers blinking forwards, and the medivacs will start to fall. But so will the tanks and the tankovacs in general. So in the end, he's just going to kind of lose out here. This tank can try and pick up another kill or two at the very end. A few more Marines coming in, and could maybe turn and get one more Stalker kill. But that would be about it, as uThermal continues to gather himself together. Still feel as though this was okay for him. I feel as though the trades were, yeah, very Terran favoured. 2.1k loss to the 4.4. Losing a massive Stalker army like that for a Bioforce generally is going to be kind of expensive and unfavourable for you in general. You'll see Marine will come in and just take the upper watchtower now, as these 2 Liberators from uThermal will move away over to the right-hand side. So they're going to move over to the right and just look to see what they can get up to. Actually, the Stalkers, though, going to come in. They're going to shut down one of those immediately. uThermal turns around. I'm not sure if that really helps him. I guess he saves one of them. I wonder if he would have still saved if he just kept going. I guess it is favoured to go down this way. Because he was still above sort of the halfway marker. So, I guess it makes sense. Stalkers and a couple of Sentries and Adept 2 just going to be working their way through these rocks then. Working their way through those and, yeah, just seeing what's happening. We're going to see a Liberator coming across the map here from uThermal, and I mean, obviously that's another Liberator, so just trying to harass you in the early stages while setting up back at home. What he is doing is sort of like a pseudo free base all in, where he's actually only on 1 engineering base still. He's still building tanks, and he's more or less just on mass marine. 4 reactors and 1 tech lab is very odd for the TvP matchup, because generally Marauders are a big part of the composition, and you generally go for 2 or usually 3 tech labs and 2 reactors when you're on 5 racks. So to be on 4 reactors is super aggressive. It's basically a marine attack, marine tank attack. And as he sets up into this marine tank attack, well, he has to be very, very cautious of how he makes it and how he fights exactly. So let's see. As we're going to see, the Warp Prism will just sit up to the top side. An observer here from Socke will be nearby. And uThermal will just as well nearby with, you know, he is nearby and will be able to kind of spot the nearby army to maybe see what is in it. And if you can see how many Marines and tanks there are, well, he might be able to switch up his composition. He might be able to identify how aggressive this is and realize, okay, well, actually, I just need to be a bit more defensive than usual, because if I just wait a bit longer, this composition is... It's sort of like Zerg with roaches in a weird way. Like, this composition builds up super fast because you're building lots and lots of cheap Marines. And they're really good. You know, they're really, really good, so you have a lot quickly. But as soon as more tech starts coming into game, roaches aren't very good. And it's the same with the Marines here. So it's very powerful because actually these Adept Stalker compositions don't have much anti-Marine in them. And that can be kind of what creates kind of a really powerful sort of situation for this. You're going to see there's some Immortal already going down the front. I don't think this is going well at all for Socke. He was sort of caught out in the middle. You can see uThermal recognize how far forwards he was. He stimmed from like halfway across the map to get into the location. Now these tanks will continue to shell away, and Stalkers will be blinking back. uThermal will stim once again as he continues to trade on the front lines with Adepts, and Well, as he breaks through their depths, he'll get to those Stalkers, the Immortal as well. It will go down in the next few moments as we'll see the pylons starting to go down as well. And yeah, just going to be seeing this Nexus fall. And across the map, we do see a bit of Warp Prism aggression. Some Adepts just being a little bit of a nuisance, but when you lose your third base, killing off about 11 workers doesn't really make up for that. We also saw, I think, somewhere, yeah, the Liberator in the main base picked up 16 workers at the same time. There was more damage than just on this third base throughout this all by uThermal, and now he's just going to keep on pushing through. And I mean, he doesn't have many Marines left, but look at the reinforcements now that the Warp Prism hasn't been moving in for a few moments. uThermal moves across the map, and actually he's just going to be typing out GG, so uThermal will out of me. But if you do enjoy the stream, but you can't usually afford to support, you can get a 30-day free trial of Prime, and that includes a free subscription. So if you enjoy the stream, and you can't usually afford to support, go sign up for Prime. It takes like 3 or 4 minutes, I think, if even that. I don't even think it takes 3 or 4 minutes, really. And you literally get a free sub to the channel for a month. Make sure you cancel your subscription so you don't get charged for it at the end of the month. But, yeah, it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Lip75 still cheering as well. Another sub cheer 100. uThermal 1 cheer 100. What is it going to take to stop this man stop this man cheering? Maybe actually breaking me or something. I can't talk anymore. Thank you very much, Lib, for basically a cheer 500 overall. Lumina 1 for the sub. Let's see those SHI hearts in the chat, guys. Let's get spamming those. If you can't SHI heart, then you consider maybe just throwing in a normal heart. As we have to the top right hand side of the map from Team Liquid, our blue Terran player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on uThermal. And to the bottom left hand side, our red Protoss player is going to be Socke. At Wardy, any chance I start streaming more USA time? What do you mean by USA time? Like in the USA evenings? Because we do have the WardiTV Team League American Division coming up in the next month or two. So that is going to be something that we'll be streaming more of in the NA time zones. A lot of the time the problem is because I actually have to wake up, not necessarily early, but if you imagine I stream until like 4 AM or something, then if I go to sleep straight after that, I'm still not really going to wake up properly in time for like late Late Cup or something. So it's a little bit hard to stream NA time zones, I suppose. Although we have been toying with the idea of doing some rebroadcasts in the NA time zones and stuff like that. So, yeah. We've been sort of toying with that. If that's something you might like to see, like rebroadcasts in the NA time zones and stuff, then let me know and we'll see what we can do. I mean, there's a lot more potential for rebroadcasts coming up in the near future, so that's something we can maybe set up to and see what we can do with it. If there's interest, of course. I mean, people might just think, well, nah, you can just watch the VODs or something. But, yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you're from the NA sort of time zones and you watch that, then let me know, and we can maybe set it up in the future as well. A lot of things change in the next month or two, which gives me a lot more potential to do extra stuff and stuff like that, so... See you later, Lib75 is going to tap out for a while. Thank you for joining us. Did we introduce our players in this? I think we did. uThermal to the top right, and Socke to the bottom left. I've just been talking and talking and talking. I apologise. Yeah, so I'm just going to be seeing this single adept here. Just going to be sat around, maybe looking to scout across. The opening here this time from uThermal is going to be a bit different. He's going to go straight into the factory early on, so he is going to have a Widowmine drop being set up in the early stages. And Socke as well, going to be playing a little bit differently here. Going to be opening with that Oracle. So an Oracle on the way here from Socke in the early stages. Going to be setting up into that about halfway done. And we'll just be seeing the Stargate finishing that up, and across the map he'll go. We'll see if he makes a second one. See if he makes a Phoenix to try and shut down drop-based play and harassment in the early stages too. Lots of different possibilities here in the early stages, so we'll see what happens. Is ooh, probe going to cancel. Will it finish? I'm not sure. Whatever. Anyways, just very standard stuff here in the early game. Let's follow this Oracle across the map. Just one Oracle for now. Obviously important to try and get some worker kills, but also to keep this alive, to be able to continue, just continue kind of trading, I guess, throughout. And setting up, not necessarily trading, I guess, but setting up the revelations, keeping that map control available to you, I suppose, as the Widowmine goes off, and, yeah, picks up a kill pretty darn quickly. Gonna see a few Widow Mines here then. I mean, 3 Widow Mines are gonna be going across. Losing the Oracle kind of sucks. I mean, that's a shame. So, losing the Oracle is a little bit of a sucky one, as we are going to be seeing those 3 Widow Mines going down to the bottom left-hand side. The first drop is actually across the map from uThermal 2 to see what he might be able to get up to. As those Marines are just going to be sort of sat here just outside of the main base, so some Marines are going to be looking to see what's going on. Going to lift up and move on over here. Widow Mines are going to start dropping then in towards the natural mineral line. Ooh, another overcharge used. Is he going to go off just on? Ooh, mothership core and a few probes. Not too many though, and then Depth will go down now as well if he stays too close. This is nice, just slowly kind of edging his way around with the Widow Mines. Going to go back into the natural expansion wave 1 just as the overcharge finishes. He can burrow here. Does that Widow Mine get targeted? Oh, he picks up 1, which is low on health. Widow Mine going to get the mothership core. Well, that's actually pretty sick. It does go down. The observer was there as he boosts away. The Widow Mine is still in the main base as well, though, so uThermal just around the place with damage and harassing, killing the third base too. Look how much damage he's done on this. It's so far along in terms of being built. It is going to have to be cancelled. uThermal really slowing down that third base right there. That is huge from him, as we see now a Liberator from uThermal going to sit down to the south side. So Liberator of uThermal going to sit down to the south, and this medevac from him just still moving around through the center. And well, Widow Mine in the main picks off another probe kill or 2. More and more damage being done. Is Socke trying to go into that Robo Bait and Colossus production? Something uThermal has scouted with his drops here in the early stages. Thank you very much, Spect, for the Twitch Prime sub as well. Guys, let's keep the SHI hearts going. I'm just going to say them now. I don't usually do shoutouts this far into a game, but I'm afraid I'm going to forget about it just because it isn't showing up on my events list reliably just yet on the Twitch alerts. So thank you very much, Spec, for the sub. Do appreciate you spending your Twitch Prime sub here on the channel. And there's, of course, so many different StarCraft streams. Oh, Socke's just going to type out. Okay, well, that's